Dr. Miriam Adelson.
Good evening, Erev Tov. First, I would like to give big thanks to the family, the Kaplun family, Yuda and his son Moshe Kaplun, and Ed Russo and Alon Katan for organizing this great event tonight to memorize the terrible things that happened in October 7. An event that brings us together here, a fraternity of two faiths, Christian and Jewish, to mark a dark anniversary, a year since October 7, 2023, the darkest day of my life, of countless lives. It was a day whose horrors unfolded on the other side of the world while America slept. But a year on, after Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza has become a regional struggle against the genocidal and fanatical Islamic Republic of Iran, we are all wide awake to its impact on the entire world. And the world is looking again for US leadership. Many of you will know Admiral Daniel Hagari, Chief IDF spokesman. He has appeared on TV regularly to brief the Israelis and the American about what's going in Israel of this terrible and existential war. He said something remarkable the other day on TV, that he is stuck in October 7, 2023. That the hundreds of sunrises and sunsets he has seen since all felt like they were part of the same horrible, unending day. I understand that we are still learning new details about how 1,200 of our brothers and sisters were kidnapped and tortured and butchered by Hamas and by supposedly innocent Palestinian civilians that you see in the pictures invaded also Israel, though they were not part of their army, and raped and killed Israeli. So these are the innocent people. But despite the profound pain, the heartbreak, the worry for the 101 blameless children, women, and men still held hostage in Gaza, I am not stuck in this day. I am focused on what October 7 means for Jewish history and the Jewish future, and the lessons are grim. I am a Tzabarit, a native-born Israeli. I was raised to believe that the rebirth of this Jewish state marked the beginning of the end of the global anti-Semitism that had robbed my parents of their families back in Poland during the World War II. As a child, I felt that something bad had happened in Europe, rumors, gossiping, but I first learned the facts of the Holocaust when I was just 16. And Israel put the Nazi war criminal Adolf Eichmann on trial, because before that, our parents wouldn't talk. They didn't want to hurt us, they couldn't talk. Still, the survivors who testified during Eichmann trial sounded like they had come from an entirely alien reality. One of them even referred to the concentration camp, planet Auschwitz, like he was in another planet. With my late husband, Sheldon Zichrono Livracha, I was proud to sit on the board of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum and to sponsor Yad Vashem in Jerusalem. We did so mainly in commemoration of our 6 million martyrs because we believed in the motto, never again. But I lost that belief a year ago, gone forever, because what was never meant to happen again happened again. Jews suffered a pogrom. They were helpless and defenseless. They lost their lives and their liberty and their dignity to the bloodthirsty mob whose yells were in Arabic rather than Russian or Polish or Ukrainian or German. And when Israel finally fought back, it discovered all too many people in the West who preferred to condemn it rather than Hamas, who accused Israel of genocide, who called for Israel to be denied weapons of self-defense, who made Jews feel unwelcome on US college campuses, who treated Israelis as if they were their war criminals. These are the kind of people who allowed the Holocaust to happen, and they are the kind of people who would allow another October 7 to happen, God forbid. If there is another October 7, it will come with a mushroom cloud. The same Iran that armed and funded Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Houthis in Yemen is working hard to get nuclear bombs with which to finish the job of destroying the Jewish state. That must not happen. Israel must not let it happen. And Israel's friend, most important among them, this great United States, must not let it happen. I always like to quote a sentence from the Bible. And this time, I will say it in Hebrew and translate it. בכל עת אוהב הרע, ואח לצרה ייוולד. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Which brings me to our keynote speaker. Had he been in the White House a year ago, I'm totally convinced that October 7 would have never happened. Okay. You didn't let me finish the sentence. That October 7 wouldn't have happened. Hamas would not have dared. Hezbollah would not have dared. The Houthis would not have dared. And yes, the Ayatollah of Iran would never have dared, because evildoers understand when they are faced with a real courage. They can spot a strong leader who will make their lives hell if they get out of line. They laughed at UN at UN resolution and a statement condemning both sides of the conflict. As long as they are not called out for what they are, evil, they know they will never suffer consequences. And this man has no problem with calling them out. He knows that the enemies of Israel are the enemies of the United States and the free world because they are the enemies of civilization. He knows how to talk tough, but more importantly, he knows when the time for talk is over and it is time to fight for what is right. I'm finishing. He is Donald J. Trump, the best president America ever had. And the best president America will have again, God willing, come January.